Bug Out is a 3 to 6 player card game that runs for about 45 minutes, where you will spend 2 nights camping trying to survive the attack of a bunch of bugs sent to your tent by other campers. It is a game of strategy, memory, and bluffing that will keep you awake throughout the night. This is how it works.
Give each player a tent and a scoring token that they will place in front of them like this. The tent card is double-sided, with one side a bit more challenging than the other. Shuffle only the bug cards without the repellents and give 2 to each player that they will keep face down in front of them. They cannot see these cards. Shuffle the repellent with the rest of the bug cards and place the rest on a pile at the center of the table within everyone's reach. And lastly, place 15 battery tokens at the center of the table within everyone's reach. The game begins when players pick up the cards in front of them and hold them facing the center of the table so that each player can see everyone's bugs but their own. Starting with the player that was most recently attacked by a bug and going clockwise. On a turn, a player must perform one of 2 possible actions with the option to perform a free stealing action. Action 1. Swap a card. The active player can exchange a card from any other player's hand for one of their own, making sure to take a card from the player's hand before giving a card to that player. Both cards will end up facing the center again.
A little note here. Every time you receive a card from another player for whatever reason, it is a good idea to flip that card upside down on your hand to remind you that you cannot interact with that card until the end of your next turn, at which point all your cards will be right side up again, and you can keep going.
Action 2. Bring a bug. The active player takes the top card of the deck, looks at it in secret, and then makes a choice. Option 1. Send a card, place that card in someone else's hand with the card facing away from the chosen player, so that they don't know what the bug is. There's a limit of 6 cards, so any player with 6 cards cannot be chosen to receive a new card. Option 2. Save a card. Place that card face down on the save area of your own tent, placing a battery token on top of it.
And this is where bluffing begins. If you take a card from the pile, and it happens to be a repellent, you must take the second option and place it on your save area. Hopefully, other players will think you're bluffing and won't try to take it away from you using their free stealing action.
Free stealing action. At any point during the active player's turn, as a free action, the player can steal 1 card from any other player's save area, flipping it up and placing it immediately in one of their own locked spaces. This card cannot be removed, exchanged, or tampered with until the end of the night, whether it is a repellent or a bug. If a player uses option 2, save a card, and that card is not stolen by another player, at the beginning of their turn, if the save card is still there, it gets moved immediately to one of their own locked spots.
Saving or stealing a card are the only ways to obtain repellents. Now, let's talk about batteries. Batteries are tokens that allow you to flip cards in your hand so you can see what cards you have. The more tokens you have, the more cards you can flip around.
Gaining batteries. Whenever a player places a card in their save area during option 2, save a card, a battery is placed on top of the card. At this point, one of 4 things can happen. 1. The card is not stolen and it was a repellent. In this case, the active player keeps both the repellent and the battery. 2. The card is not stolen and it was a bug. In this case, the active player keeps the bug, but the battery returns to the center. 3. The card is stolen and it is a repellent. In this case, the active player keeps both the repellent and the battery. 4. The card is stolen, but it is a bug. In this case, the active player keeps the bug and returns the battery to the card owner.
The moment you receive a battery, you can flip one of your cards to face you. You can have as many cards flipped as you have batteries. Now keep in mind, once a card is facing you, it cannot go back to the original position. No one can take or mess with these cards on any way, but you still can give it away using the swap card action. Just remember, if you give away a card that is facing you, you also have to give away one of your tokens to the center of the table.
The night ends once the deck in the middle of the table is depleted and the players enter the scoring phase. There are a series of steps to follow before scoring can be calculated. The order is displayed on this player reference card. Mice. Each mouse will cancel a repellent card and then go away, inflicting no damage to the player. Repellents. Each repellent card will cancel every card of a specific color except for mice poison, which will only eliminate one mouse. Some bug cards interact and cancel others. The spider eats the ants, and the scorpion cancels the bees. And lastly, from the cards that are still in your hand, calculate the damage by adding the number of bites per card. If this causes any player to go over 20 bug bites, the game ends and the player with the least amount of damage wins.
Depending on the side of the 10 card that you're playing with, you might have to add some damage to you or other players. Setting up the game for the second night is mostly the same. Only this time players will start with 3 cards instead of 2. Also, battery tokens gained on the previous night still active for players who has them. That means it is entirely possible for players to start the game with all 3 cards facing them. The game continues the same until the deck in the middle runs out again, triggering the end of the game. Some of the players will be knocked out with more than 20 bites, but from the survivors, whoever has the least amount of bites wins the game. And that was Bug Out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please contact me if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.